Divine Entertainment. By Orthoris. Chapter 27. Job Hunt. Belle. Belle stepped out of the third hospital she had visited that day, her head hanging low in disappointment at yet another dead end. Seeing as the Crystal Kingdom was a giant city, there were quite a lot of hospitals around in order to deal with the workload. Belle thought it would be easy for her to acquire a job with her knowledge, but was proven wrong at the first hospital she visited. After asking for a place to work, she was flat out rejected. Apparently, being a doctor or a nurse was a very honorable occupation to have in the kingdom, resulting in a surplus of ponies looking for a job in the field. Only the best were accepted, making it close to impossible for Belle to get accepted by them. She didn't let one setback deter her though, so she tried again and again, each time ending with the same result. Silverwood said that there would most likely be no problems in acquiring a job for her. Belle now realized that she most likely meant it would be easy to find a job working the fields. Not in a hospital. The sun had continued its journey across the sky, and it was getting close to evening. She still had ample time left before her meeting with her friends, so she wasn't in a rush. While keeping her head down, she thought about her next course of action. It was probably best if she just gave up for today, and head out for the fields tomorrow. While she had no problems working a field, she really wanted to help ponies out like she did back at High Rock, as well as deepening her knowledge of the curative arts. Deep in thought, Belle didn't pay attention to where she was walking, until she bumped into some pony, knocking the old stallion over. "Oh!" Belle exclaimed in surprise. "Terribly sorry, mister, I wasn't paying attention to where I was walking." She offered the prone stallion a hoof to help him up. The old stallion's coat was a matte orange, and his mane a pure white. Belle winced for a moment after seeing his coloration, but caught herself quickly. Next to him was a small wicker basket, various fruits scattered around it. Apparently it fell over when she bumped into him. The old stallion accepted her hoof and Belle pulled him back up onto all fours. "I'm so sorry. Let me help you gather your fruits." She immediately went to put all the produce back into the basket. "Oh ho ho ho." A quiet laugh escaped the old stallion's mouth. "Don't worry, young one, although I may look old, I'm still quite sturdy, that was nothing." Belle finished gathering the fruit and turned around to face him, with the filled basket hanging from her mouth. Now that she had a better look at him, she noticed that he was an earth pony, making it the first one she had seen since entering the city proper. Weirdly enough, the stallion didn't seem to face her, and instead opted to just look ahead, into the direction he was going earlier. "At least let me help you carry your groceries home, it's the least I could do," Belle said around the basket's handle in her mouth. "Oh, that would be very kind of you," the stallion replied, still not turning around to face her. "Are you okay, mister?" Belle asked worriedly, taking a few steps forward so she could look him in the eye. "I'm just fine, thank you," was the response she got. "Although you have to excuse my lack of movement. I'm rather blind, you see." Just as the old stallion stated that fact, Belle established eye contact. His eyes were devoid of any life, a milky screen took out most of the color from them. Belle gasped. "Oh, I'm sorry. I hadn't noticed," she said in a hurry. "In that case, let me help you find your way." "I much appreciate it," the old stallion said with a smile. "There's not a lot of love for a blind earth pony around here. Can I assume that you are new in town?" "Ah, I just arrived today actually," Belle answered while sidling up to him, so he may use her as a support. She put the basket on her back so she was able to talk freely. "Which way should we go?" "For now, just head straight, I'll tell you when to take turns," he said with confidence. Not about to question the old stallion, who apparently knew his way around despite being blind, Belle started walking. "All right, my name's Charity Belle, by the way. Pleased to meet you." "White Mallow, likewise," the old stallion introduced himself. "Thanks for the help." After a while of walking, White Mallow told Belle to take a right, and she led him down an alley. How can you tell when to turn? Belle asked, genuinely curious. Ah, a very good question, young one. White Mallow said. You see, when you're blind like me, you start using your other senses more. Like your sense of touch, or hearing. I've walked this route many times, and I'm able to tell by the sounds around me where I am. He explained further. For example, across the street from where we turned into this alley, there's a restaurant. The chatter of ponies, the clinking of porcelain cups being set down, a hurried waiter's clopping hooves. All those little things tell me where I am. That's amazing. Belle said in wonderment, almost whispering. I'm able to hear a lot of things, young one. White Mallow said. Even emotions can't be hidden away from me. Tell me, what happened to make you feel so down? Belle flinched when he called her out. His sense of hearing must be really advanced if he was able to recognize a pony's mood just by listening to them talk. Deciding that she could trust the old stallion, she decided to tell him. You see, I was looking for work just before I met you. Belle started to explain. I assume it didn't go well. White Mallow asked. Turn left here, please. Belle guided him into another alley while continuing her story. Worse than just not well. Belle lamented. Every hospital I tried just flat out refused to work with an inexperienced earth pony. She let out a sigh. I guess I'll just have to settle for a job on a farm. Hospital? Were you a doctor before coming here? White Mallow asked. Oh no, nothing so fancy. Belle denied. I got my cutie mark when patching up one of my friends, and I have been learning everything I could about healing practices ever since then. I was hoping to finally receive a real place to study after moving here. Belle saw no harm in telling the old stallion about her, so she just told him what she needed to get off her chest, glad to have somebody who listened to her. Sure, Crimson and Atlas would definitely listen, and try to help her afterwards too, but she didn't want to inconvenience them. White Mallow hummed in thought. Interesting. Turn right here, my home is just around the corner. They turned into a small road, several small shops lining the sides of it. Only a few ponies could be seen, a stark contrast towards the main road they came from. Which one is yours? Belle asked, checking out the storefronts as they passed. There should be a sign hanging out front, bearing a red cross. White Mallow replied. Belle let her gaze wander along the different signs, until she spotted the right one. Red crosses were usually used by hospitals or small clinics. Does your family own a clinic here? Belle asked him. Oh no, I live alone here. White Mallow said as they arrived at the front door. He pushed it open and entered, his steps becoming a lot more secure, now that he was in a familiar environment. He probably knew every nook and cranny of the house. Belle stepped in after him, confused about how a blind pony would be able to lead a medical establishment. The setup inside was rather simple. A few chairs were to her right in case some pony had to wait. Going in further, there were 4 beds, all of which were currently empty. Curtains hung from the ceiling, allowing for some privacy when needed. The right wall was mostly dominated by 3 large cabinets containing medicine and ointments, as well as a table set before them. Next to them a staircase went upstairs, leading to what she assumed to be White Mallow's living quarters. Said pony was standing at the bottom of the stairs, waiting for Belle. Please, follow me up here, my kitchen is on the upper floor. Sure. Belle replied, and went after the ascending stallion. Just as she assumed, they arrived in what appeared to be a living room. There wasn't much in way of decorations, the aesthetic sense being lost on the occupant, leading to a very Spartan furnishing. As the house was rather small, the kitchen was integrated into the living room. 2 doors led away to different rooms. Both of them were left open, for White Mallow's convenience. The room closer to her was obviously a bathroom, while through the other doorway she was able to spot a bed, which must have been his room. A small table was placed in the center of the room, 2 chairs accompanying it. While on the far wall, next to a window sat a rather comfy chair. "Just set it down on the kitchen counter please, next to the sink," White Mallow said, while sitting down at one of the chairs at the table. Belle did as she was told and turned around to face the old stallion, a question burning on her tongue. "So are you some kind of doctor? Do you lead this clinic all on your own? How do you manage while being blind?" One question became many, and Belle couldn't stop herself from asking all of them. White Mallow laughed at her curiosity. "Such a thirst for knowledge!" he exclaimed. "Please, come have a seat first." Belle practically teleported onto the chair, eager to hear White Mallow's tale. "You ask very good questions, young one," he started. "But for you to understand, we must first discuss something else entirely," he stated vaguely. "Tell me, what gift was bestowed upon the earth ponies by the supreme beings?" The story of creation was well known to every pony. It was taught to children by their parents as soon as they were old enough to understand after all. At the beginning of time, 6 heavenly beings happened upon the planet Equus. After seeing the potential of the planet, they decided to gift it with life. Using all of their talents, they bestowed life to the various races inhabiting the planet today, gifting each of them with a part of their power. They lived amongst the newly formed species for a while before leaving, continuing their never-ending journey across the vastness of space. Life on Equus prospered, using their gifts to live in harmony with each other. Earth ponies were gifted with the ability to grow every kind of plant or tree faster, making them experts in the fields of farming and providing food for the other races. Belle said with a smile. "Very good," White Mallow said. "But also very wrong," he added, confusing Belle. "Wrong? What do you mean?" she asked, furrowing her brows. "What many ponies don't realize is that growing plants faster isn't exactly as straightforward a gift as all the other races received," White Mallow stated, raising Belle's curiosity. "In fact, it's just one aspect of our gift." At this point Belle was on the edge of her seat. White Mallow was telling her that the very story of creation had a fault in it. The gift we earth ponies received was the gift of life. "The gift of life," Belle repeated, not able to wrap her head around it. "Yes. We were given the ability to affect the very lives of other beings positively, or negatively, mind you," White Mallow explained further. "Plants are alive, so with our gift, we are able to accelerate their growth." "Oh. Now I understand," Belle said. "But what has that to do with you being a doctor?" "As you probably already know, ponies are very much alive as well." Understanding dawned on Belle's face after hearing those words. Plants are pretty simple organisms, and are easy to manipulate. But if an earth pony trains their gift a lot, eventually it becomes able to influence other beings too. "Does that mean that you are able to accelerate the healing of a pony?" Belle asked, astounded by this revelation. "Exactly. You catch on fast," White Mallow praised Belle. "Not only that, but with the help of massages and ointments, I'm able to help the body recover from exhaustion and restore deteriorated tissues. As well as many other things." "Amazing," Belle whispered, at a loss for words. "That being said, we earth ponies as a species have grown content working the fields every day. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, but we could do so much more." White Mallow sighed. "Fellow earth ponies have gone so far as calling me crazy when I told them this story. It's sad really. Even though I've been alive for so long, treating ponies, I'm still alone in my practice," White Mallow continued. "As such, I'd like to make a proposition to you, Charity Belle." Belle's ears perked up, by now she was hanging on every word the old stallion spoke. "I'm growing old, and my search for a successor has been fruitless to say the least," he said. "Even though we only just met, I can feel your passion about the healing arts and your eagerness to learn more. So what do you say? Would you like to become my apprentice? White Mallow asked hopefully. Belle didn't even have to think about it for a second, a loud yes, escaping her lips. Author's note. Some nice exposition tucked away in this one. Next up, Atlas. Hope you had a good read, and feel free to comment. Once again, thanks to my proofreader/editor Ambrose for a job well done. Also, thanks to my new proofreader Kilobytes. Today's chapter was brought to you by this song. Creation story may or may not be heavily inspired by Ocarina of Time, tongue sticking out. End author's note.